Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about fluorescent in situ hybridization or FISH. If you are new to this channel, please press the subscribe button and click on the bell icon to get notified. So let's see what is FISH. FISH is a fluorescent in situ hybridization and it is a technique based on the hybridization reaction between the labeled probe and the target nucleic acid. The in situ hybridization or the ISH was first developed in the year 1969 to detect and localize nucleotide hybrids at cytological levels, and the hybrids were visualized by radiographic technique. So it was developed in early 1969s for the localization of nucleotide hybrids and for the cytological studies. And FISH was developed in the year 1980 by introducing the fluorescent probe for visualizing. So the difference between ISH and the FISH is that in FISH there is a fluorescent probe that is used for the visualization. So other procedures are same. In 1989, multicolor FISH was introduced, demonstrating the multiplexing capability of the technology. So there are further advancement from the FISH technology, and people started using multicolor probes for visualizing. So in a single reaction, we can see multiple targets in the same time for the visualization of different regions of the chromosome. That is called as the multicolor FISH. So let's see what is the principle of fluorescence in situ hybridization. It's a cytogenetic technique used to detect and localize the presence or absence of specific DNA sequences on chromosome. So this helps in identification of presence or absence of the specific DNA sequence. It is especially important to study the chromosomal anomalies and other defects in the chromosomes of the nucleic acid. Chromosomes present in the nucleic acid. So this is done using a short fluorescently labeled probe that has a certain sequence that is specifically bind to the complementary target sequence used for the identification. So once we identify so our region of interest can be tagged with fluorescent labeled probe, and that can be introduced into the cell for hybridization, and once it is hybridized to the certain region of our interest, so this can be visualized using the fluorescence microscopy. So that is the advantage of using the fluorescence probe for the visualization. So initially the probe with a fluorescence tag is introduced into the cell, and the chromosome is denatured and the probe gets hybridized to the target. And once that is done, it can be easily visualized. So the probes are very highly specific in nature, whereas the fluorescent tag with the probe, once introduced into the cell, the chromosome need to be denatured, and the probe goes and binds to that region where it is complementary. So once it is bound, the duplex or the hybrid can be visualized. So this will help in localization on the region of interest for the presence or absence can be identified. So if there are probes with the deletions and you want to see the deletions are present in the chromosome, such probes can be used. Probes with certain deletions that will form complementary base pairing with the region in the chromosome, and that can be visualized. There are different types of probes which can target different regions. So there are centromere probes and probes for telomere, and specific locus probes and whole chromosome probes are also available. So depending on the nature of the study or the work, we can use different types of probes for this work. Probe with the locus specific identification, we can use probes with the deletion and to identify translocation, and for specific gene targets, and also for gene amplification, probes are available to specifically study certain locus in the chromosome, whereas the telomere probes are specific to telomeres and specific to around to the 300 kb locus at the end of a specific chromosome. So the telomere probes are used for studying the telomeres. Likewise, centromere probes are available, whole chromosome probes are available. So these are the use of these kind of probes depending on the applications, what you are looking at. So based on that, we can use a particular probe for this purpose. The process flow involves sample processing or fixing, and then the chromosome denaturation. Later on, the probe need to be hybridized to the denatured chromosome, and that can be visualized under the fluorescence microscope. So that is the general process flow involved in the fish. There are different applications for fluorescent in situ hybridization. There are different areas also. So these include prenatal diagnosis, cancer diagnostics, and molecular cytogenic of birth defects like trisomy, Down syndrome, and other chromosomal anomalies can be identified using this technique. And gene expression profiling. So it can also be used for profiling the gene expression level, and study different control group and the target group for identifying the gene expression profiling. For all these, we can use fish. So these are the basic applications of fish. And the advantages of fish are the fish has the following advantages. It is highly sensitive and specific for recognizing the target DNA or RNA sequences, and it has direct application to both metaphase chromosome and interphase nuclei, and the visualization of hybridization signals at a single level can be achieved. So these are the advantages of fish. And the another advantage of fish is that it is less labor intensive compared to the southern blotting technique. With all these advantages, there are certain limitations also for the fish technology. One is that the designing of probe is extremely challenging, because to get a specific probe to target certain location is very challenging because of the vast nature of the different types of sequences. It is very difficult to get a specific probe designed for certain purposes. The other limitation is that there could be process errors and non-specific binding, photo bleaching, and inter-observer variability are also possible, and which can lead to false positive and false negative results. So this is also an issue with the fish, whereas there could be error in the processing and binding during the hybridization phase. Non-specific binding can occur, so that can lead to false positive and false negative results. And the fluorescent probes are prone to photo bleaching, so signal may drop due to the photo bleaching. So these are some of the limitations of fluorescent in situ hybridization. Hope you are clear with this topic. If you like the video, please press the like button and share it with your friends. Thank you.